Most people inherit identities. Sovereign women construct them. Most people don't even realize that this is happening. From the moment we are born, we begin absorbing expectations, whether it be from our families, society, our communities, our culture, and the roles we are taught to play. My name is Katrina Powers, and this is Her Sovereignty. One of the most important realizations of personal transformation is understanding that the identity that you are currently living may not be the one you consciously chose. In fact, more than likely, it probably isn't. For many people, identity isn't something they construct, it's something they inherit. Most people develop their identity through family expectations, cultural roles, education systems, career paths, and relationship expectations. You grow into these identities like responsibilities, such as the caretaker, the responsible one, the achiever, the agreeable character, the professional identity. And none of these are necessarily inherently wrong, but many people never stop to examine them until it gets to the point where it no longer fits. This happens to a lot of women because it gets to the point where they have fully embodied the identity of that responsible caretaker, the wife, the mother, the caregiver, whatever you happen to put on, so to speak, until they've lived it for so long that it becomes who they are. It becomes familiar, it becomes comfortable, and eventually it becomes what you believe you are. But identity is often something that was shaped around you, not something that you consciously chose, or designed for that matter. So at some point, many women begin asking questions like, who am I? How did I get here? Why am I living this life? Did I choose this path? And do these roles actually reflect who I am? And a lot of times, those questions can be completely destabilizing because once you begin questioning your identity, you begin realizing that it's not fixed. And in some cases, some women completely spiral because now they realize, oh no, I chose this. I have never actually been free to be myself or free to choose the life that I actually want. A sovereign woman does not simply accept the identity she inherited. She examines it. She questions it. She decides what stays and what no longer belongs. And she begins constructing who she will become intentionally. And that process in and of itself can be something that's could be rather intense. It can be extremely scary because when you start deconstructing the roles that you were given, that you molded yourself to, you start to question whether or not you'll have the support you need, whether or not you can even do it, or whether the change is even worth it. Because once you start making those changes, sometimes it forces you to realize that parts of your life no longer fit, nor are they things that you want. And you may have to let them go to become who it is that you were always meant to be. Most people move through living identities that were never consciously chosen. But sovereignty begins when you realize you are allowed to examine the life you're living. You are allowed to construct something different. That you're cyclical. That there are different stages that you're going to go through. And each stage requires examination. You are not a fixed state, especially as a woman. We go through many different cycles, many different life stages. And so to stay the woman or person you were as a 16-year-old and expect that role that you maybe inherited then to be the same as the one you have now as a 34-year-old, or that college student that you were, or that young mother and or young wife, and suddenly it doesn't quite fit, that is okay because it wasn't supposed to. You're allowed to construct something different. Most people inherit identities. Sovereign women construct them. And the moment you begin consciously constructing who you are is the moment your life begins to change. My name is Katrina Powers, and this is Her Sovereignty. I will see you in the next episode.